I just love everything about Montreal, truly. I feel like people are really expressive. They express themselves through their clothes, through their hair, obviously. I love that there's graffiti all around. I was born in Montreal. My mother was a barber. I grew up in her salon, and I feel like female barbers should feel as if they're as great as male barbers. I mean, it's not a sex thing, you know, like, I feel like it's just talent and it's passion.
This is my first style trip experience, and it's probably gonna remember this for my entire life. One, I'm never gonna forget how cold it was here. And two, this is my first time to Canada.
Fern the Barber has been a great friend of mine for years, but more importantly, he's an artist I look up to. Not only is he a master barber, he's an amazing hair cutter as well, male and female. Just like Sam, they both can work on any person. Hair is hair to them. I think it's really kind of cool to be surrounded by people like that. So to me, this episode is uniquely different because the people that are a part of it and the fact that we're in international waters. So those are two uniquely different things. And lastly, we're focusing on barbering. On this episode of Style Trip, we visit Montreal, Canada, and Boudoir Salon with a stop at Rock's Barbershop with Fern the Barber. We find inspiration for hair in Montreal's graffiti scene, a cool jewelry boutique, and much more. I'm Colin Caruso, and this is Style Trip. Fern the Barber.
What up, dude?
Welcome to Montreal and welcome to Style Trip.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
A little colder than LA.
Oh yeah, my bones hurt for sure.
Your bones hurt. I'm looking forward to this trip. We get to, number one, hang out in a beautiful city like Montreal. Number two, this is our first international style trip.
Nice.
Which is exciting. And number three, we get to work with one of your partners on the Maverick team, Sam English. What are you most looking forward to on this trip?
I'm excited just to work with Sam again. I've worked with her a few times, and I'm excited to just be in a different country. But it is cold here.
It takes your breath away, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool to be able to travel to different places, take in different experiences, whether it's the weather, whether it's the different cultures or the people. Let's just soak it all in. I can't wait to see what you create because you're one of the most creative people I know. And with you and Sam working together, for me to put a little bit of color in what you guys do is an honor for me. But let's start off with breakfast.
Yeah, let's do it.
There she is. Sam, what's up?
Hey,
Good to see you.
good to see you too. Was it cold out?
Not for Fern and me. We can handle it. So this is your breakfast spot.
It is. This is L'Avenue. I want to try to say it.
L'Avenue.
There you go.
Fern the Barber.
Avenue.
Nice.
Good.
So let's talk about your shop and what you do. You have two businesses.
Exactly. So I have Boudoir, which is more of the hair salon, and Rock's Barbershop.
I'm excited to see the barbershop.
You'll see a lot of personality there.
And what I think is really cool is we're gonna have two models on this episode drawn from the same kind of inspiration. And I get to pop a little color in on both your models, which is exciting. What can we expect going through Montreal today?
We'll go and meet some people from Under Pressure, which is a graffiti festival here in Montreal. So those people are going to talk a little bit more about that festival, and we'll be seeing murals just like this. So a lot of graffiti. I feel like that's inspiration right there.
And we're meeting a graffiti artist.
We're meeting, yeah. So he's going to be tagging actually. We'll get to talk to him. And after, we're going to see one of my best friends, Soli. He's a jeweler. I think you're going to get a lot of inspiration through all of that.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm
a
really
lot of
stoked.
colors.
A lot of colors,
and
a lot of
movement.
shapes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Now Fernie, everywhere else in the world, you're Fern the Barber, but in Montreal, what is Fernie?
well, it's still Fern the Barber. You can say Fern le Barbier.
Fern the Barber.
La Barbier. Change my Instagram.
Yeah,
Change
that's
it,
it.
yeah, just for now. All right, so excellent breakfast.
Yeah, that was good.
It's time to walk it off, and this is a beautiful place to walk. So a little bit about what's going on here.
So where we were is where I grew up. Here is more of my teenage years. So this part is all of the art and music neighborhood of Montreal.
Yeah.
And around here we have Under Pressure, which is the graffiti festival I was talking about.
What's up? What's up?
Everything.
up?
How are you? Very nice to meet you. I'm Colin.
Good to meet you.
Meeting Melissa at Under Pressure and actually kind of getting her own little curator, walking us around and explaining to us of an artist's story or backdrop behind it, a reason why they painted these pictures or who kind of got together and created these collaborations was really kind of awesome.
Under Pressure started in 1996. It's a community-based festival and it brings together a lot of different styles of urban art. So once a year we come in, we paint the walls black the week before the festival and then they get redone that way. This fall is really interesting because it happened during Under Pressure but was part of what we started called Queen's Creation. So that's a all-women's urban arts event that happens at the same time as Under Pressure. And so it's just to put the focus on women because they often kind of get lost in the mix and they don't get the same kind of spotlight.
And it's a lot like female barbers, correct?
Exactly. That's what we were talking about. I feel like female barbers feel like they have to push a little bit further to get into that barber world with all men.
So there's a couple of other walls that I can show you that are all around here. So if you want to follow me.
Let's do it. After we got to look at all the graffiti, Sam arranged for us to actually meet a graffiti writer, Ensor, and he created a beautiful piece right there on the spot.
So I asked him what are the steps into how he thinks, how he places it. And so at first he's always gonna draw it on the paper, sketch out. I feel like that's us with color, sectioning, prepping everything.
Mon inspiration, je la retrouve vraiment tout ce qui est organique, ce qui est ADN moléculaire. C'est vraiment ça qui m'inspire. Puis pour le lettrage, c'est vraiment essayer que mes lettres aient un plus possible de personnalité.
What makes Style Trips so unique is not only the ability that we have to travel to different cities and meet different people, it's the inspiration that we get to draw from the different mediums. Being able to look at art through someone else's eyes and then re-tie it back to what we're doing, I think is the best experience you can get from Style Trip. So after we saw the graffiti writing live and in action, we headed to L'Atelier to meet with Soli, and he actually showed us the art of jewelry making.
My jewelry shop is called L'Atelier Joaillerie Soli, and it's just close to Rock Barber Shop with my neighbor.
What stood out to me about Soli is probably his energy that he has. I felt it was more than just creating jewelry. I felt like he put part of himself in each piece of jewelry that he makes.
All right, so I'm gonna show you this, the fire opal. If you look at looking like a stone like this, you see it's not like perfect round. So we like to work with the free shape and work around the stones.
It's kind of like what we do too though, right? You have to work with what's present.
It's just like you don't get to choose what's gonna sit in your chair, so you gotta kind of adapt to whatever you're working with.
Soli is one of my best friends. We've been friends since high school. The way he shapes his pieces, I think it's really inspiring. Personally, what inspires me is anything that's different, you'll see with the model. So for Zefia's hair, I love the fact she just comes in and she lets me do whatever I want. I sectioned the underneath to create some blonde there because I knew Colin wanted to come and get inspired by the graffiti. So working on the blonde canvas, that would be easier for him.
Sam actually gave me a beautiful canvas even before I got here. So she pre-lightened with Synchro Lift in 20 volume, giving us a beautiful, nice, consistent blonde from scalp to ends.
While I was cutting it, I actually used a grooming spray in Maverick. I love that the grooming spray helps me glide through with my straight razor. And you already see all that buildup of texture coming out of it, so I know where I should cut, where I am good. All of my haircut underneath was done with my straight razor. We're talking about Maverick, and I have that strong barbering side also to me, so I love working with straight razors. I love including all those tools into female haircuts too.
Love the haircut. Love that you work with the scissor. Love that you switched your tools around with the razor. I'm gonna come in and detail it just like in those buildings. I'm gonna work with the shape that you created with a technique that we actually call graffiti.
Great.
Mixing two different products together, so it's gonna be fun. One of the things I learned from Under Pressure was all about that collaboration. What I loved about that is a lot of times they have this one wall, they don't know what they're gonna get until they show up. I mean, that's hairdressing 101. You can't tell anything about, a name in your book until that person comes in. Sam created a beautiful shape, put the foundation in, gave me places of strength, gave me places of softness. My job was to place the right colors in those spots. Graffiti technique is something I've been doing for a really long time. So the first product we use is Paul Mitchell's Soft Spray, which is a natural hold finishing spray. Has a light kind of feel to it, it's not too sticky, not too heavy. And then we add Paul Mitchell Pop XG to that. By spraying certain colors together, by creating a base, putting yellow in, spraying the blue on top, we're creating greens. We're adding stronger, deeper tones of the blue at the base and kind of meddling these colors through. Once we dry it, we can spray another color over top to give us an iridescence, just like the opals. So we're not only just combining the graffiti technique, but we're also looking at the stones and the opals that we saw to really kind of create a layered, textured color that changes in different lights.
So after Colin did his thing with the graffiti, I pieced out everything with the Maverick dry paste on top because I still wanted that matte finish and I wanted to bring all that texture out. And then some of the original pomade through the ends. I really love the fact that Maverick is versatile and I can really play with it into anybody's hair.
So Fern,
Yeah,
about to get in with the clippers, right? Bringing this Maverick to life.
excited.
This is our model, Jeff. So where are you drawing your inspiration from for the look?
So for Jeff's cut, the whole bottom portion, I was inspired by the graffiti, just really focusing on the gradient, light to dark.
Same thing like when the graffiti artist was spraying, you notice like he would come in and he would like flare out like with the spray can, like he would start close and then he'd kind of flare out. Same thing with the machine. So I'm coming in and then when I want to blend or flare out, I ease off and that's how I create that that fade.
For the top, I decided to go with more of the opal in the raw form that we saw from Soli's shop. So that's why I kept it more textured and more like that matte type of style. But there was a part on the right side where I tried to make it more polished. So I kept it a little bit more classic. Products for Jeff's hair in this haircut I used. First was the Maverick grooming spray. I used that pre-blow dry, so sprayed it in and then blow dried it in. The next product I used was the Maverick blade slip when I lined up Jeff's beard. And that's just a clear translucent shaving gel that I like to use for all my detail work. Next product I used was the Maverick skin and beard lotion, just to hydrate his beard, soothe the skin that I did when I used the razor. I just add a little bit of shine to it. And then the last product I used to finish off the haircut was the Maverick dry paste to give me that medium hold matte finish.
So we're pulling from our graffiti technique with this inspiration. So again, we mixed our soft spray mixed with our Pop XG. Really what we're looking to do is just create a little bit of those same colors that we saw in the opals. So the really soft yellows, really soft blues, just a little bit of violet in here, but really it's still gonna be blonde, just with a little bit of hints of those colors using our graffiti technique. So Fern, I love the graffiti-inspired cut, the opal-inspired color. Everything came together, dude. Thanks so much, Jeff, for being our canvas today.
Yeah, you killed the color. It looks sick.
It's a collab, man. It works together. So, I mean, without a beautiful shape, the color's nothing. So that's what it's all about. So
Collabs in Canada.
Canadian collabs.
I've collabed with Colin a few times, and I think that every time that we do something together, it's like super dope.
At this point, hairdressing isn't what I do, it's who I am, and I really just feel very happy to be able to work and collaborate with other like-minded people who love what they do just as much. And that really makes me inspired to be better. And for me, that's kind of what it's all about.
I love the idea behind Style Trip. I really appreciate it. I mean, for me, Colin is the first artist in John Paul Mitchell systems that kind of gave me my chance. Through Style Trip, you meet so many people, you see so many inspiration. It was a great weekend, it was fun.
Looking back on this episode of Style Trip, again, the people come first to me, and without people, we don't have a canvas. This episode helped remind me who my canvas is. My canvas are people. And I think that's really kind of the best part about doing hair. And ultimately, that's what every hairdresser wants. They just want to be able to create and make people happy. So thank you, Canada, for reminding me of that. And thank you, Fern and Sam and everyone else we work with this weekend for the collaboration, because that's the other part that's so great. We don't do this alone. You know, we do this together, and that's really kind of cool.